How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to be showing you how to replace your fuel pump in the 2006 to 2010 Volkswagen Jetta, Golf, and Rabbit. So our first step is to disconnect our negative battery terminal. Always make sure you do this when you're changing a fuel pump. You never know when you go to disconnect some electrical that it causes a spark, and before you know it, your whole car is on fire. Remove this part of our back seat, and you can just pull on the front of this, and we'll go to the other side and do the same thing. And now just pull up a little bit and push back, and we have to pull up and push back a little bit because this is hooked on here, and you're going to want to do that on both sides. And now to finish pulling our seat out, it's pretty much just working it out and getting your seat buckles through these holes. And you can pull this part from underneath this plastic, and you can just tuck it down like that so it doesn't flip back up on you while we're working on the fuel pump. And now we can pop this cover off. You can either use a pry bar or a screwdriver, or just get your fingers under there. And you can take this rubber piece, just push it through, and you can flip this cover right over. And now that we've located our fuel pump, this is a very important step. You see all this dirt that's in here? You're going to want to take a vacuum and suck all this stuff out, because when we go to remove this fuel pump, you don't want any of that dirt dropping down into your fuel tank. And that's pretty much what you want it to look like before we start removing anything. So now we're good to start taking everything apart. First, we'll disconnect our electrical. You have this red tab right here. You can take a flathead screwdriver. Just pop it up, and then with your thumb, lift it the rest of the way. You could hear it unclip. Then your connector will come straight off. So before we start removing our fuel lines, you can put gloves on if you want to, and make sure your car is ventilated, because we're going to start getting gas fumes in here really bad. So we can start by disconnecting this blue fuel line. On this side, you can see this blue push clip. Take your flathead and push that in. Grab your fuel line and lift it off. Disconnect this black fuel line. To do so, it has a push clip on the front of it. Before we do this, this is going to release some fuel, so make sure you have some rags to clean the fuel up that's going to go in here. So our fuel pump is locked in with this metal lock ring. We're going to have to turn this counterclockwise. You're going to need a hammer and your flathead, and around these edges there's little notches that you can tap. If you are having trouble getting this off, don't be afraid to spray it with some PB Blaster and let it sit for a little while. These can get really rusty. Now we can grab our two fuel lines and pull this metal ring out. So I have a bucket that I can place my fuel pump in when I pull it out, because you're going to have a lot of gas leaking everywhere. Take our two fuel lines, just try to move them to the side. Grab your fuel pump and lift it straight out. These fuel lines like to get in the way. And you're going to have to maneuver this so you can get this piece out as well. Set it in the bucket. So with the fuel pump out, you can take your shop vac and just vacuum around the edge of this so we can put our new seal in. You can take your new seal that comes with your fuel pump and stick that into place. And that's what your seal should look like before we reinstall our fuel pump. So now we can take our new fuel pump. We're going to want to get this piece in first. This is what tells you the level of your fuel. Put that in. And just drop your fuel pump in. See this piece here? You're going to want to turn it to right here. Grab our metal lock ring. Just put that on top for now. And now we can adjust this ring to where we need it. Just keep spinning it till you see where it'll line up and start going underneath. Then you can just turn this ring, grab your hammer and screwdriver, and bang it clockwise. And that's it. Now your fuel pump's all locked down. So we can take our black fuel line and just push it down and it'll clip into place. Do the same with our blue fuel line. Take our electrical connector, we're gonna push it down, and then you'll just slide this lock back into place. That's what locks your connector. Just give your connector a little tug, make sure it doesn't come out. Grab your cover, slide this rubber grommet right through this hole. And you can see how this is curved. This curved part's gonna go down. Just push it. Grab your rubber grommet. And just put it into place like that. How does that look, bud? Good?
Good.
Perfect. Reconnect our negative battery terminal. And we'll just snug this up. You don't need to over tighten these. Make sure your terminal doesn't move. And now we can turn the ignition on. Make sure we hear our fuel pump kick on. Okay, we'll listen closely. Make sure our fuel pump's kicking on. And you can tuck this section back underneath the plastic. Just like that. So now we can slide our seat back into place. The first thing we're going to want to do is get our seat buckles back through these holes right here. There's those two. Now we'll do the same for the single. And lift your seat up and push it back. Now everything should be lined up. You can lock the front in and do the same to this side. And now our rear seat is all set. And that finishes up this job on how to replace your fuel pump. If this video helped you out in any way, if you could give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, consider hitting that subscribe button.